Hello, my name is Michael Delcom, and I'll be your Professional Communications and Interpersonal Studies CTL this year. If you're coming back to Uplift, thank you for coming back. We appreciate the time that you've given us. And if you're new, congratulations on your job. We hope you enjoy your time here. So this unit preview is going to be a little bit different than some of the other ones you may have seen, just because we have had some changes to the curriculum this year. And so I want to give you enough context so that if your school chooses going a different direction than what the network's doing, you'll know enough to know how to make the appropriate changes while still meeting the goals that we are all trying to meet as a network. So no matter what your campus is doing, on the network level, we are going to do interpersonal studies first, followed by professional communications, and the scope and sequence has been written so that interpersonal communications will seamlessly transition into professional communications, and that it won't be much different than what we've done in the past. Assessments will have some tweaks to them, but in terms of the overall flow of the year, if you're doing interpersonal studies first and ProfCom second, not too much should change for you. However, we do know that some campuses are doing some other things, and so no matter what your alignment is, we do have two foci for the year, and the first one will be the IB design cycle. If you are unfamiliar, if you haven't gotten a chance to read the design guide yet, I have put it up as one of the resources on Blackboard. And our second focus for the year is going to be Conley's model of college readiness. So you can see the little chart at the bottom of the page here. Hopefully everyone's seen this, but if not, we will discuss this on our first collaboration day. And I have also posted our Conley PD that we did over the summer on Blackboard. And if you have any other questions on it, you can go ahead and give me a call or email me, and I'll be more than happy to discuss Conley with you. Alright, so this is just a screenshot of the page where you can find both the design guide, and if you scroll farther down on the screen, you will see the Conley presentation as well. And so this has not only the design guide, it also has the principles into practice post as well. It kind of gives you the overall philosophy of MYP. Alright, so let's go ahead and do an overview of the semester. Semester 1, Unit 1 is called IB and Me. In this unit, we're going to focus on kind of the background of a person, where they come from, and how to connect to who they are right now as a learner, and how does that affect their role in the world. From there, we're going to progress to Unit 2, which is My Family Past, Present, and Future, where students are going to study their family's influence on what they perceive to be family roles, and how this is going to affect how their life plays out moving forward. And in Unit 3, we're going to follow that up unit with Achieving My Dreams, College and Career Planning. So once students have kind of identified who they are and how they function in their family and what they want for their future family, they're going to go ahead and find a career that matches that type of lifestyle, and then find a college that ultimately will support them in getting into that type of career. So our Semester 1 assessments. Unit 1, we're going to build a cultural icon. As an example here, I'm from South Louisiana, and I live right near the Gulf of Mexico, and so it is not uncommon to see homes that have been elevated so that whenever we get a storm surge or whatnot, the whole house isn't flooded. What students are going to do is they're going to kind of do in Unit 1 some research into their family backgrounds and really dig into how did they identify as a person, and what is a piece of architecture that represents that identity. And they're going to spend some time exploring natural resources and why people built the types of structures that they built. But all of this is meant to really just kind of dig in and have some self-reflection and really set the pace and the tone for the rest of the semester and the rest of the year. In Unit 2, we're going to have Designing a Family Expectation. I have a picture here of my wife and my daughter, and so students are going to think about what do they want in a family, and even Do they want to have a family? And these are questions that they'll answer before they proceed into the college and career piece. Unit 3, designing a college and career plan. Again, we've been doing this unit for years now. I'm not sure how many. I know at Summit it's been at least 5 or 6 years that we've been doing this unit. I feel like it's always going very well, and that's how we're going to cap off the semester. So when students go home for the holiday break, they should go home and ultimately be talking to their friends and family about what they want to do with their future, and hopefully they'll come back the second semester and have had some great conversations around that area. I just want to go ahead and give you a summary of Unit 1. So for Unit 1, our global context is going to be identities and relationships, for all the reasons that we've already discussed. Just really digging into what how the students identify and how did they get to where they are now. The key concept within that is going to be community. So what is their current community here in North Texas, DFW, and what are the sub-communities that they're a part of? And maybe they have other communities they're a part of outside of this area. And so that's going to be a concept that we explored pretty heavily in Unit 1. Our related concepts are going to be resources and form. Resources, again, in terms of natural resources and architecture and how do those things work together. Form, we're going to really push our scholars to try to do their best job of making an accurate representation, and just want to get our students in that place that they start building their MYP assessments in such a way that they're very well set up for their DP assessments. That'll be coming up in a couple of years. Our statement of inquiry for Unit 1 is becoming an IB scholar requires one to understand his or her community and resources so that he or she understand his or her role in the world. What we really want our students to do here is, again, just dig in about who they are and what's their relationship with the community around them, and how does that influence the way that they perceive themselves and what opportunities they might have, both in their community and outside of their community moving forward. Our debatable questions. I'm really excited about our debatable questions. I picked 3 of them. The first one is the design cycle necessary for good decision making? So with my scholars, I try to pull decisions that are common to them, such as dating and buying a vehicle, and we kind of go through if you make a haphazard or a quick decision or maybe a non-comprehensive decision, what that could look like, and if you use more of a design cycle process and a 6 thinking hats process, what would that look like in terms of making the decision? And usually is kind of ironic because I can't say that they enjoy the idea, but many times they do find that using a design cycle process does help them make better decisions, which ultimately they're happy with in the long run. Our second debatable question is, do builders have a responsibility to use resources well? I think this is an excellent opportunity to talk to both the biology teacher and the geography teacher, as I think this kind of hits in both topics. In biology, hits on ecology and, again, natural resources and how does what we do affect the planet. In geography, resources change from region to region, and there's additional cost and not just financial cost. Sometimes there's other types of costs involved with not using local resources, or conversely using too much of the local resources. And so I think this could be a really good tie-in with that geography class. The third question is, how important is it for cultures to retain their icons and imagery? We live in a multicultural area where some of our scholars are able to retain and want to retain their home cultures, and that's very, very important to them. And we have others that it's not so important. And so I think this will be a good conversation piece in class, and really go into why each set of scholars feel the way they feel. And I think that will also help you get to know your kids a little bit better, which will pay dividends in handling different things down the road. So in Unit 1, I see a lot of opportunities for collaboration. Some of the ones that I see that are definitely very, very strong are the following in English, research and citations. Now, in the English class, the research and personal project unit isn't scheduled to occur until the very end of the year. What I'm going to do at my campus is reach out to our 2 freshman English teachers and see if I can get them to take the research piece and move that to the beginning of the year. That way we can both go over citations and academic research and databases at the same time. And then maybe just take that personal project piece and save that. So kind of cut there, I think it's their Unit 7, into 2 half units, you know. And that's something I would encourage you to do on your campus as well. The second area where I see an opportunity for collaboration is in math. I think this could apply in Algebra 1 and geometry for sure, possibly even Algebra 2, and that's with scale and unit conversion. So, you know, one of the things that we're going to push this year that we haven't pushed as much in past years are the annotated drawings in the design notebooks. And so I have a very rudimentary picture of blueprint here. And so this is something we're going to ask our scholars to do in this project, is to make some actual blueprints with scale and annotations. And so I think this could be a good opportunity. I know at the beginning of the year, many math teachers talk about fractions and kind of hit some of those basic level concepts that may be coming out of middle school they're a little bit rusty on. And so this could be a great opportunity to collaborate with your math teacher. The third area of opportunity I see for collaboration is in geography, with the family histories, push and pull factors, natural resources. I think that this unit has the opportunity to set a great tone for both the MYP Design 4 class, which we are, and the human geography, or if your class is doing world geography. I think, you know, almost all of our schools have diverse populations, and getting those students to really bring out their family histories and why they came here and how long they've been here and what things were like in their home country. No matter how it's long been. I mean, my family's been here for a couple hundred years, and yet I would say that, you know, my ties to my my non-American culture are still quite very, very strong. And so, you know, just kind of emphasize that no matter what their story is, everyone has a story, and you know, we can learn from each other. And I think this is a great opportunity to help make that happen. The fourth area that I see is theater. In theater, the content isn't necessarily similar, but the theater journal is very, very similar to ours. Now, I know that in this picture, it's kind of small. You can't really see the individual boxes, but I'll go ahead and put a copy of the theater design guide on Blackboard under Unit 1 resources. And if you look at them side by side, you'll see that, you know, probably 70-75% of their rubric is similar to ours. And so if we go ahead and work together and kind of hit these common pieces at the same time, I think that will help the students to see how their skills translate from class to class, but also I think really embed that knowledge in them in a much stronger fashion. The last area of opportunity I see is with the library for database usage and research resources. I'm not sure how the library works at every school. I know at our school, the librarian has to teach a certain number of classes and do a certain number of hours with students for MYP purposes. And so I think this would be a great opportunity if you're able to schedule the librarian to maybe pull the kids during advisory time. We call ours HAT. You know, and she can kind of go ahead and reinforce those databases and maybe do some activities with the kids around the databases and academic resources that we just don't have time to do in class due to the number of things that we need to teach. We're going to touch on this, but I think if you can get help from your librarian, that will definitely be a benefit for both you and your kids. All right, so I don't want to say a major change, but one change that we do need to make this year is the design cycles need to be in notebooks instead of the typed out journals. And that's just something that was brought to my attention this summer. And so we're going to go ahead and make that switch. I think on the positive side, I think students are going to maybe find this a little bit easier to do. I think they're going to enjoy it. I think, seeing things in their handwriting is going to help us understand better what their actual thought process was like, with all the erase marks and scratch outs and everything else. On the other hand, for scholars that maybe struggle in their handwriting, I think that, we may have to work with them to make it, to make this design notebook readable. I also think that we'll probably lose a little bit of the academic emphasis that we had on design cycle journals that we had before. I know in my class, I saw many of their kids improve their English skills through the way that we were previously doing the design cycle notebooks. But I am really excited about what we're doing here. I think we can still push those academic skills. I think it will just be a little bit different in the editing process now that they won't be able to type. And so if you have any questions on this, go ahead and reach out to me and we can go ahead and discuss it. On Blackboard, I've go ahead and I've put some of the scholar work samples from previous years. So if you go into ProfCom and then click on the curricular resources and content resources, under the tab Artifacts and Office Hours, I've go ahead and I've posted some scholar work samples from the past. Again, they won't look exactly like what we're looking for this year, just because these are going to be typed versus what we're doing now will be in notebooks. So there will be a little bit of difference, and we will have a much greater emphasis on the blueprints this year and the scale drawings. But I think overall you get a really good idea of what the design cycle journals should look like based off of the samples that I've produced. All right, so in closing, if you need anything for your course, absolutely let Chris know and reach out to your director. He's let me know CT does have funds, and so if you get to a project and you just don't feel like you or your kids have what they need, what Chris has asked is you go ahead and make like an Amazon basket saying, hey, this is what I need, this is how much it's going to cost, this is how many scholars this is for, or this is how long of a time period I'll need it. Let Chris know, go ahead and send that to Chris, reach out to your director. Things should get processed at the school level, but if not, go ahead and reach back out to Chris, and he's assured me that he's going to make sure that everybody has, what they need this year to make sure that the course goes smoothly. If you have any questions or concerns about anything, you can reach me at email at s.delcomb@uplifteducation.org, or you can reach me by phone at 337-519-3752. If you can reach me fine, go ahead and text me with your name first. I get a lot of like spam calls for whatever reason, and so a lot of times if I don't know who it is, I don't pick up the phone. But if you go ahead and text me, let me know that you're about to call. I'll absolutely pick up and we can have whatever conversation we need to have. Once a month we'll be holding office hours. We'll be using Skype for business for those office hours, and so we'll be able to video chat. I don't know my schedule yet for Summit, so I have no idea what will be the best time for me to meet with everyone. But as soon as I know my duty schedule and everything else, I'll go ahead and set a time, and you'll receive a calendar invite shortly after the school year begins. So on that note, I hope all of you have a great year. I hope this unit preview has helped you kind of understand the context of the changes and what we'll be doing for not only the year, but especially semester 1 and unit 1. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I look forward to seeing everyone at Collaboration Day.